Kyle, here goes your tires, buddy.
Video, Kyle?
Brand new ones.
You could have at least put the front ones on the back. Think
about that. Lubing you right day and night.
And we're supposed to be powered by science.
That's very true.
We better be able to get two people on one train somehow.
Here it comes. Yep, that's it.
Because every time I'm in his office, he's sitting there and all of a sudden he just reaches like this and there's a piece of chicken in his hand.
I'm like, how much chicken is under your desk?
I overshot the R&D budget this week, so I'm going to need that $250.
Lubing it right day and night.
Welcome to another edition of Hot Shot Secret Facebook/YouTube Live. It's February 11th. It's 2/11.
Sounds good. I'm on the right one.
Yep. Episode 127. And today we are going to be talking about fuel additives, an array of them, when to use them, differences in them, when not to use them.
You always use them.
No, that's not the wrong one at the wrong time. But as always, we're here to answer your questions. So post them below, whether they're fuel, oil, you name it. He's a specialist on builds that never get done. So we'd like to hear about those. Let us know where you're watching from. And let's see, our newsletter, you like to plug that?
I love the newsletter.
I know. Why don't you tell them about it?
So there's a little birdie that works here that tweets all day long and sends out emails if you sign up for it. hotshotsecret.com/email. Or you can go to the website and just click around until you find it. That's
It's at the bottom. It's easy to find. It's easy to find.
Yeah, lots of fantastic information in that.
There is. We do leak good stuff there. So, and also we give away products on Thursday. So you can enter that also on the website.
hotshotsecret.com/giveaway.
Right, and you got to enter each week. You can enter every week if you want, and we announce this winner here live on the show. And if you're watching live and you're a winner, throw your hand up or something there and say hey, and we'll throw in an extra T-shirt. Right? That's the plan.
That's what we plan on doing.
This week we're going to be giving away Gasoline Extreme and a T-shirt. So I guess you're going to get it anyway. So. Gasoline Extreme is our fuel, our only fuel additive that's not here.
Right.
So, because today's diesel additives. I just saw that. I thought it said fuel additives. So.
Whatever.
All good. So, as always, we're dual streaming Facebook and YouTube. Go ahead and like and share. Click the bell so you get notifications. We're here every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. And follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook's our side page on the dark web is
Steve Summers' Overnight Drive.
No, that's actually outpacing you by a lot.
Oh, it doesn't take much, does it?
Hot Shot Secret R&D. Aaron likes to play around over there a little bit.
Sometimes.
So let's, I see Dan Zelton's in already. Toots in. JJ Yosik is a top fan badge down there in Lexington, North Carolina. I'll be heading that way soon. Toot says, hey, what's up, Toot? Dan is the top fan badge +1. He's just racking them up there. So he's watching from cold Wisconsin. But D-Wag is kicking ass. A customer always gelled up until he finally used a quality product. Absolutely. 'Tis the season. We're getting this cold spell all across the country right now. And we are moving a lot of D-Wag right now. We try to tell people, we start talking about it in, October? It was usually September, October.
Yeah.
Like start to stock up. And I always say there's two parts of the season that people get hit. Right at the beginning when the cold comes in, and then towards the end when they're like, it's over. And
so then, June in Ohio.
Right, exactly. Angel Meadows says,
wow.
Quiet on the set. Angel Meadows says, hello gentlemen from Central Texas. Are there any outlets that may have the cold weather additive? That's a good question. In retail, I believe I've got it here. I know Tractor Supply, yep. TSC, so Tractor Supply carries it in retail. We're looking to get it in our other retailers right now, but it is on the shelf at all Tractor Supplies nationwide. And of course, you can order it on our website, hotshotsecret.com, or you can look at our nationwide network of dealers. You can punch in your zip code on our website and see if there's a independent dealer near you, because our dealers have access to our full catalog. And now I don't know if they're going to be stocking it down in Texas, but if you talk to a local dealer, they can order it for you and get it there. Because I know certainly anybody down in Texas heading north is probably getting some Texas fuel. Although I'm pretty sure, if I remember from Steve Summers' weather report last night, Texas is getting snow.
Huh.
So they are not ready for it. So and the fuel down there is not ready for it either. So certainly something to look at. So, yep, Angel said it's dropping below freezing here in South Texas. Yeah, I heard, man. That's crazy. We thought it was bad up here. So, but like every week, we kick off the show with a get to know us segment, learning about one of our employees here at Hot Shot Secret. So
This is where I disappear.
this is where he disappears, and our guest for the moment arrives. Here's your microphone. So, no pressure or anything. We only have 63,000 people watching today.
Oh.
But they want to know a lot about you. So, why don't we start off with your name and how you found out about Hot Shot Secret?
My name's Savian Burgess, and I found out by ManCan.
Okay, what's that?
It is a company, a temp service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And what do you do here?
I end up boxing bottles, fuel.
So, the other one, make sure everything gets in there correctly and they don't get the wrong stuff. That's cool. So, I got a rapid fire questions for you, and then you'll be off the hook.
Okay.
I promise it's painless. Where were you born?
I was born in Dover, Ohio.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
Bowerston, Ohio.
Bowerston. Where's Bowerston?
It's about, I would say, 2 hours from here.
Okay. All right. I haven't heard of Bowerston. And what was your very first job?
That would be at a restaurant in Freeport, Ohio.
What'd you do?
I ended up dishwashing.
It's always the first place. Put you on dishes first. What was your very first car?
Subaru.
Okay. They're good for this time of year right now. And did you play any sports?
I played track. I did track. I did volleyball for 1 year. And also basketball my 6th grade year.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what is currently your favorite hobby? Like, what do you love to do when you get free time?
I love to sing.
You love to sing?
Yeah.
That was my next thing. It says, sing us a song.
Oh, I hope not.
We'll take it. Will you give us 2 lines of your favorite song? This is your chance. There could be some like Hollywood, people out there, and this is your moment.
Okay.
She's going for it.
The question was raised as my conscience fell, a silly little lie.
Wow! We got hidden talents here. That's awesome.
We got a new singer for the band.
Yes, you are now in the band. We got too many guitars. We need a singer. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that. What's your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving, because my birthday sometimes lands on it.
Oh, it's double holiday. Awesome. Your favorite beverage?
Dr. Pepper.
We don't have Dr. Pepper here, do we?
I
Oh, yeah, we
don't
do.
Yeah,
know.
nobody else drinks it, so when everything else is empty.
Dr. Pepper shows up. She's happy about it, though. All right, so final questions besides the bonus one he likes to slide in sometimes. Your favorite TV show or movie?
The Walking Dead.
Cool. Bonus question?
No?
You're free to go. You
All right.
survived. And thank you for being our first employee that busted out some singing. That's awesome. And you're good, too.
All right.
Thank you. Now, Aaron's going to follow that up with a few verses of his own.
Right.
You can't follow that, man. Wow, she can sing, man.
Yeah.
We need to work that in somehow. Maybe Friday Huddles, lead off with a little song. Well, that was pretty cool. How about some dealer shout-outs?
How about them? How about BisMan Autoworx in Bismarck, North Dakota?
Awesome. I love the name. That's awesome. Good logo, too.
And how about Gas and Diesel Garage in Longmont, Colorado?
Gas
How about
and
them?
Diesel Garage. They do it all there. Good stuff. So shout out to BisMan Autoworx.
Yeah, and they should send us some stickers for the dealer wall.
Come on,
That
guys.
would
Send
be
your decals in.
fantastic.
We'll put them on the dealer wall, so don't forget.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Need to get on that direct department. Get some decals in here.
Just noticed we don't have the Cadillac cam today.
No, we don't. No, we
Tucked
don't.
into the backup camera.
Yeah, just tap in. What's up in TV land?
I don't know. I have to turn the page. Just like Bob Seger. Here we go. Saturday. What? You've never heard the song Turn the Page?
Yes, I have.
I was wasting some time. Give me a second.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Thank you. Saturday on Trek U, 10:30 in the morning on Motor Trend is featuring FR3. These glasses don't work. Two Guys Garage at 1:30 on Motor Trend featuring Stiction Eliminator. Then we have some things on Sunday as well.
I believe that's Valentine's Day.
Wouldn't know. Trek U. Trek U at 10:30 on Motor Trend again featuring Stiction Eliminator. And then stick around for Car Fix for more Stiction Eliminator.
Triple header.
And then keep sticking around for All Girls Garage, but it's Shift Restore instead of Stiction Eliminator.
Yeah, we're doing a big
but
push
it
on Shift
used to
Restore
be
right now.
called Transmission Stiction Eliminator, so it follows the
It follows the triple header.
right.
So there's your Valentine's Day triple header. 10:30, 11, 11:30, Truck U, Car Fix,
Triple
All Girls
header.
Garage. Let's keep
Lovely.
it rolling. And of course, we have our featured ride of the week that we always put up on our
Two.
Facebook page. It's your chance to get your ride up there. And it looks like
Whoa.
this one's is Mike Cole. That's some heavy
nice.
equipment. Good looking stuff there. You can get your, I think, let's see, I got this right. You post it on Sunday. Everybody can post the pictures of their ride.
You have 13 minutes
You
to
have
post.
42 seconds, and he selects for Monday to put someone up there. So we like seeing those. It's good to see some heavy duty equipment too. So post it up there. We don't care what it is. If you're putting some FR3 in your lawnmower, post your lawnmower. I cannot wait for a lawnmower to be featured ride of the week. I've been waiting for it. So Mike Cole's won twice. There you go, Mike. Keep grinding, man. Product tag image. Is this something new? There we go. Show us your photos with hotshot secret products. Post on your social media page and tag us. This week's pick is from iconic_Cummins. I see what you did there, Josh. Good little balance job. You gotta be careful with that because that spills, it stinks. But cool pick. We like it. Thanks for tagging us on it. And the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studio, is rolling now. We are into our 5th week on air.
Wow.
It's live every night.
How many terrestrial stations are we on right now?
None yet. None yet.
You promised 2 weeks, Kyle.
No, Chris did. We're working on it, though. We got ready to talk,
Say it.
so that's coming. So it's on every night, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m., Monday through Friday. It's still currently held on our Hot Shot Secret YouTube page and Facebook as well, but we have Steve Summers Overnight Drive Facebook page and YouTube pages up also airing it every night too. So we're going to be transferring it over to the Overnight Drive platforms at some point. Right now we still have a lot of people coming to Hot Shot Secret to watch it, so we're trying to let people know. Go ahead and subscribe and like and follow the Steve Summers Overnight Drive platforms if it's a program you want to keep watching, because at some point we're going to pull the Hot Shots plug and make you go watch it over there. But for now, you got a couple places to watch it. And I'll give you some side news. Can I give them some breaking news, Josh?
I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Breaking news. I should let Steve announce it tomorrow. But breaking news, iTunes just picked up the Steve Summers podcast. So we're going to be loading it in there soon. But we got approved through iTunes on the podcast side of things. So you'll be able to watch all of the shows afterwards in your normal podcast in the iTunes store. And that's going to continue. We're also just completing the app, so you'll have a direct app on the phone, and you'll be able to watch live on there, as well as all the re-airs, the podcast, if you will. as well as all the podcast networks out there. There's a million of them that are out there. So, but iTunes is a big one, obviously. So, but as soon as we get the app approved, it's going to be approved by Android and iPhone applications. So we'll have news on that soon. And I think the big news, I don't see it here, but tonight's episode, tomorrow morning, we always get that mixed up with Steve Summers. Starting tonight at midnight, the last show of the week, the Friday morning show from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m., Mr. Chris Gabrelchik is going to be the special guest. So, and I asked Chris how much time he has, can he make it on? And he said, if he wants me the whole 5 hours, I'll stay the whole 5 hours. So, just like good old times, what started this relationship between Hotshot Secret and Steve Summers decades ago, the band's back together. Chris and Steve are going to join in, and Chris is down in Florida, so he's going to call in.
Is she going to sing for him?
I don't think she's going to sing for them, no. But so really special episode tonight. I encourage you, if you haven't watched the program or listened to the program before, check it out tonight, or watch the replay tomorrow because it'll be on from 12 to 5. But it's also a good chance for you out there to ask questions of Chris too. That's kind of why he goes on the program. Callers call in. It's mainly overnight truckers, but you know, we try our best to answer your questions. But Chris really is knowledgeable on this stuff, so. Call in tonight. Say hi to Chris and ask him a question. Try to stump him. We like doing that.
Stump the tribologist.
All right, so in the loop, be in the loop on everything. We talked about the newsletter.
I know.
We can go ahead and subscribe.
Like
HotShotSecret.com/email.
blowing right through this.
What kind of sales we got? We got a lot to talk
We
about
have
today.
a show your diesel some love.
Oh, that's right.
Come on, show the Valentine's Day.
There
it is.
it
Look how
is.
pretty that is.
It's adorable.
So it pretty much says everything right there on the screen.
It does.
Orders over $35, you get a free 4-ounce EDT.
And that's active right now through, looks like Monday.
Monday
15th is
sounds
Monday,
good.
correct?
It is now.
So, forget Valentine's Day. For those that are just late Valentine's Day night, they can still get up on Monday and still get their Valentine's order in. Gotcha. So through the 15th, give you a little free product. A little love for your vehicle. Deals on that. What kind of sales? You like to do the sales.
Do I?
You have one more there.
I know, we have a $4 off of Diesel Extreme at Menards.
Menards.
How about
Nice.
that? It ends on the 13th, though, so you might want to...
Okay, so that's Saturday. It's your last week.
Okay, so get on it.
All right, so if you get your Diesel Extreme from Menards, now's a good time to do it. Let's see. Event World.
Ooh.
Okay,
There's
so
actually events this year?
there are. That one's a...
Nice.
There we go. So, not this week, not next week. So we're just a couple weeks away from the first big race of the year. Lights Out 12, February 25th through 28th down at South Georgia Motorsports Park. The Firepunk Diesel Hotshot Secret S10 is once again going back down, slapping a small tire on, going to push that world record a little further.
372?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Right now, the engine's out right now. It just got torn down. We went out and did a video of it that you'll be seeing that coming soon. I can't tell you how impressed I am with the bearings. I mean, we were ready for something, but it's unbelievable. So wait till you folks see that. But they're refreshing the engine right now. Firepunk should get the engine back next week. Throw it in there and hit the road. And, I mean, within hours we'll be on the track and starting the season. So before we get into the diesel season with the truck and go to big tire and all that stuff, we're going to take one swing at the plate, go down in this big gasser event, and see what kind of number it can put up. So they're really excited about it. I am too. I'll be down there. We'll be down there filming, so we'll have some great video on the backside of this. And not only is the S10 going for a new record, Ryan Milliken is going to be unveiling the beautiful new Blue Nova down there too. So we're going to be doing a lot of video with him as well. He runs X275. Firepunk will be running Radial versus the World class. But that's not it.
There's more?
There's more. Big Boost Bill Lutz is going to be down there as well.
Yeah?
Yep. So one of our gasser side sponsored
Oh,
vehicles.
he hasn't switched over to the Duramax yet?
No, not yet.
Or was that, we're not supposed to let that out of the bag?
No. He's got plenty of power on the gas side there. He's doing just fine. So Bill's going to be down there as well. My buddy Jason Reagan in the mod motor Mustang is going to be down racing as well in X275. So we got a bunch of sponsored drivers in this really big event that you can watch everything on Flow Racing, sponsored by Hot Shot Secret. We're sponsoring the live streaming as well as being there videoing. So we're going to have a bunch of video content on the back end of this. It's really going to be a really exciting weekend. We're looking forward to records falling to kick off the season and all that good stuff. And I can't wait to see Ryan's new car in person. Like, it's such a cool build. If you guys haven't seen Ryan Milliken's build from Hardway Performance, it is pretty cool. But you're going to see a lot of it when we get some video. So looking forward to that. On the back side of that, I'm staying down south, so you're going to have a couple weeks without me, because then I'm heading over to Florida for Diesels on the Beach, which is the first kickoff of the first big diesel-specific race of the year. Used to be the first race of Outlaw Diesel series. Now it's a standalone event. And Epling Garage, one of our dealers and sponsored racers, they're kind of putting it on.
Where's that located?
It's going to be at Emerald Coast, Brian Milliken's track, Emerald Coast Dragway down in Florida. So back-to-back weekends there.
I knew that. I was just...
A lot of racing's finally here. We're just a couple weeks away. And then the polling gets started right after that. I think you had a graphic up just a minute ago. I'm going to mess this up. The Shipshawana Spring Nationals down there into Michiana at the Michiana Event Center. That's March 19th and 20th once we get into March. So that really kicks off the polling season. And we're really proud about our new sponsorship with NTPA. Really didn't get much in last year with the COVID, but looking forward to a big year. And this is a big event, a big poll to kick the season off. So I believe Josh and I are going to be traveling out there as well to Indiana to check that out. So once I get back from the south, I'm going to head west. So lots coming up. We're really looking forward to it. Tickets are on sale at shopntpa.com/tickets, so you can get your own ticket and check us out in Indiana. Side note I want to throw in, our friends over there at 1320 True Street, and as well as the Ohio Grudge Racing guys, are both raising some money. I know you can check it out on Facebook. The 1320 guys are having a benefit on February 20th at 5 p.m. at Planet 14 in Galion, Ohio. Alan and Kim from Alan's Collision had a fire, and they pretty much lost everything in it. So we're having to get together. Hot Shot Secret donated some product bundles for the auction to help raise some money, but it'll be a real good time. Food, see, what was it? Food, live bands, donations, silent auction, 50-50. Just a good time to raise money for some great people that are dealing with a tragic fire right now. So encourage anybody in the Galion, Ohio area or around, come on out, have a good time, and raise some money for a good cause. So,
this is the most exciting part.
we're about to get into the product here.
Almost.
Are we going to do our winner first?
Might as well.
All right, let's pull our winner. What did we say we're giving away? Gas Extreme and a T-shirt? Is that it?
Yeah, just...
Thanks, Help.
I'll let you... I'll let you cover it because I can't see the invisible ink.
Yes, Gas Extreme T-shirt. These guys are all texting their moms over
Do you
here.
see it on your page?
I think he's going to pull it on screen. Josh, you got it on screen? Because I got nothing over here. He's working on it. This is in the TV world they go, stretch it out. Stall. Stall. So, you ready, Josh? Oh, okay. Well, we'll come back to the winner. I don't want to see Josh kick anything. So,
Keep going stretch.
so stretch. Well, we got to check and see who's in here anyway. So, let me see. Angel, we answered that. The cold Texas, negative 25 in Montana.
Holy
Ouch.
smokes.
I thought it was bad here. Ouch. Rodrigo's in. What's up, buddy? I hope to see you down in Georgia here soon. Steve Taylor has an anti-gel question. My truck is gelled up, and what would I use instead of diesel 911? Wyoming here. Temps are negative 18, and wind chill is negative 38. Steve, the answer to that question is right here. It's our Diesel Winter Rescue. Once you're gelled, there's no anti-gel will de-gel gel fuel or filters. It's got to go in there ahead of time. So if you're already gelled up, your only option is a product like the Diesel 911. That's actually the product we kind of targeted when we formulated ours. Our version is called Diesel Winter Rescue. It is not available in retail, but it is available on the website. and at our independent dealers. Levi, can they get expedited shipping on that? Like if they're gelled up and can they bump up their shipping to get it quick? Yeah. So if you go to the website and you need it quickly because you're just, I guess in checkout they can select those options. Yeah. Okay. So Steve, that's answered your question. I'm sorry to hear you got gelled up. I know that's not a fun deal. So Terry Howard's in with his top fan badge. Guess what he had to say?
Happy Hot Shots Thursday.
You know it. Yes. Exactly. Iron Man's in the house. What's up, Frank Ott? Just talked to Frank. That's Junior. What's up, Junior? Just talked to them yesterday. We're getting ready for the season. He's got a new build, new motor setup on Iron Man Vega this year. So looking forward to that. Nick Caputo's in another Thursday with the boys. It's 15 degrees in Illinois. Some people got you beat, Nick. They're in the negative, so I can't cry. AJ Jackson's in. Sorry I got here late, Kyle. We love you. Well, I love you too. Is this our winner? Gotcha.
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses. So this week's...
So we're done stretching now? Okay.
Gotta work on your handwriting. Okay. So this week's winner is, he's got it up there, Wet 2 Coke at something. We don't like to give their whole email out, but WET 2 COKE. Wet to Coke is our winner. So we'll get in contact with you. If you're watching live, throw your hand up. We get an extra t-shirt because you're going to get some Gasoline Extreme and a t-shirt. And we'll reach out to you if you don't own a gas vehicle. We'll swap you out for some diesel fluids or something like that. So congratulations to Wet 2 Coke. And let's see. Dick says, I've been trying to stay up a little past my bedtime to catch the beginning of the Steve show. Really good listen. Yeah, I've been doing the same thing with my sleep schedule. It's kind of crazy. And there's Frank saying Hot Shots has the best racing oil. Yeah, we're proud of that racing oil. So let's get into our fuel additives.
Are you going to announce our special guest?
Nah, just going to let him marinate over there. He's only coming in for that one segment, so you're not paying attention to I even put numbers on it, and you're still jumping around. One comes for two, comes for three. We'll cover that.
Yeah, that's
too much. So we're going to cover the diesel fuel additives today. I'd like to. We got 5 of them here, and actually I should mention LX4. We'll get to this at the end. This is gas or diesel, but
one comes before 5, Kyle.
Right, but the other 4 are all diesel fuel additives. I like to start with the Diesel Extreme because that's kind of the first part of our 2-step fuel process. It is our deep cleanse product. We designed that to be used every 6,000 miles or so. A lot of people are throwing this in every single tank. Certainly before EDT became widely available, a lot of people didn't know about EDT, and they really loved the gain from the Diesel Extreme, and they were using it in every single tank. And it can be costly if you do that, So that's why we designed the EDT as an everyday solution. And for those of you still using Diesel Extreme in every single tank, thank you. You're paying a lot of bills around here, but save the money and switch over to EDT in between those 6,000-mile clean-out dosages. But let's kind of I want to knock out these 2 at the same time. Diesel Extreme and EDT, because what you need to understand about the 2.
I'm trying to find the directions on when.
I'm winging it.
And when our special guest is going to be here, there's going to be something spectacular.
All right. He's third. How many times you got to see 1, 2, 3?
Well,
he's confused. He used your fingers. He ran out. So Diesel Extreme and EDT are a 6-in-1 product. Both of them have the same ingredients when it comes to what we're attacking in there. The only difference in the 2 is the balance at which we blend them at. So
it can only fit so much in the bottle.
Right. And what we're doing with our fuel additives, unlike some of our competitors, if you will, we're trying to attack every single problem with one solution. And what we do is we look at the issues that we have with modern diesel fuel and also how we can protect these modern, really expensive fuel systems on trucks. Get it all done in one bottle. A lot of our competitors will offer 5 different bottles to get the same job done, and now you're paying 5 times as much. You're doing crazy dosage. Everything is all in one here. So we don't need to use our fingers at all for this.
No.
So the 6-in-1, I'm going to start with the injector cleaner for a reason.
Okay.
Both these products have a very strong injector cleaner in them. And it's not just an injector cleaner, it's a full fuel system cleaner. It's going to clean out your tank, your lines, your pump, rails, all the way to the injectors. Anything your fuel touches, we have a very potent injector cleaner in there that does a great job. The only difference in the two here is we put a ton of injector cleaner in the diesel extreme. And that's why we advise that it's something you should use every 6,000 miles or so. It is way overkill to be putting that much injector cleaner in every single tank. Is it going to hurt anything?
No.
No.
Not a bit.
It'll hurt their pocketbook a little bit because you're paying for a lot more injector cleaner than you need. So that is right there out of the gate the main difference between these two products in a nutshell, wouldn't you say?
I would. Cetane level's the second.
Right.
Yeah.
But the injector cleaner is
cetane.
really where we're doing the deep clean on.
Correct.
So that's why we have a two-step with that. Do deep cleaning with Diesel Extreme once every 6,000 miles. Every other tank, in between that, use your EDT. So let's move to the other aspects of the 6-in-1. Number 2 is a cetane booster.
Correct.
And both of them have a cetane booster.
Both of them have a cetane booster.
And why do we need a cetane booster?
To improve combustion efficiency.
Correct. I'm improving your answer.
More power, more fuel efficiency.
Depending how you
let
use
it
the
rip.
throttle, you can get more power or efficiency. People often get confused by that. Like, wait, how can it be more fuel efficient but also more powerful?
It just does.
Well, scientifically, I'll answer for you. It's because we're getting a more full burn of the fuel.
Correct.
So, therefore, if you see a truck with a lot of black smoke, that is fuel that is passing by, going unused and burning out and costing you a lot on your fuel bill. So the cetane actually, we bring the cetane level up in the fuel. It allows you to burn the fuel more cleanly and more completely, leaving very little to go to the DPF, which in turn reduces DPF regens. There's a whole bunch of side benefits to it, not just power and MPG. So that is in both of these.
Both of them.
And we can expect up to a 7-point cetane boost
On Diesel Extreme.
on Diesel Extreme and on the performance dose of EDT. 4 to 7, I think it goes 4 to, and then up to 7
close,
for
yeah.
performance.
6.96.
So what's the third aspect?
Well, do you want me to go with water dispersant? Or
Sure, let's
not?
talk about water dispersant.
Okay.
Why do we need a water dispersant?
There were no numbers on that. There's no,
I don't need
they're
numbers.
not even listed.
I need this. What you
All right.
got? Why do we need a water dispersant?
Because diesel fuel is hygroscopic, which means it absorbs water and holds it. So we use a demulsifier.
Where's the water come from?
It's magic. From the atmosphere, of course. Typically from heating and cooling, like just sitting out. It's hot
just
during the
like-
daytime, cold
Yep.
at night.
And there's actually 2 ways you could really get it too, because just like having any bottle or something, the condensation that adds up in there
Yep.
from the changing temperatures that we see a lot this time of year can really build up the condensation, not just in your fuel tank, but in the storage tanks at the gas
Agreed,
pumps.
yeah.
You know, so like you might actually be doing a good job, you know, in your tank, but they'll get moisture buildup in their tanks that then find their way to your tank. And why is moisture a bad thing in a fuel tank?
It's just terrible. Lubricity, how about that for one?
Well, that's a good one.
How about it can't, well, no. That's a good one. That's my favorite.
All right. I also
stick
think
with
just
that.
that preventatively, if water passes all the way through under the pressure of these fuel systems,
It shouldn't.
you can blow a
But-
tip off.
Oh, yes.
So it's not good to have fuel there or water there. So what we do is we use a water dispersant. And I'm gonna ask you a really tough scientific question because this gets brought up all the time. Why do we use a dispersant as opposed to
No, why do we use a demulsifier?
A demulsifier.
Instead of an emulsifier?
emulsifier? Right.
So it drops out and is caught by the water fuel separator.
Right. And
So you can drain it.
some choose to use an emulsifier.
Correct.
And what an emulsifier does is basically packages the water up and sends it through, right? Mm-hmm. We want to get that water out.
We do.
So
Because we don't want to blow the tip off our injectors.
exactly. So
Just like you said.
adding the demulsifier to the fuel allows any moisture in it to actually fall to the bottom of the tank. It falls out of solution. Just like you see oil and water sit on top of itself. It's going to put all the water down there for your water separator to pick up. Make sure you're draining your water separator too. But that's how we get all the water out of there. Now, Number 4 in this equation, the 4th benefit of this product that we add to it is tied into that.
It's the rust and corrosion inhibitor.
A rust and corrosion inhibitor. Anytime we're taking that water out of solution, and water is basically the food for oxidation. You know, without water, you're not going to have any oxidation. So, in order to protect the entire fuel system, we add a rust and corrosion inhibitor, so that way the water doesn't impact any of your metal parts and stuff in there. So it's the protection from actually dropping the water out of solution. And then we also have
storage and stability.
Storage stability. We have a fuel stabilizer in there as well. Why do we have that in there? Because diesel fuel goes bad very quickly. A lot of people don't know that, but as little as 30 days we can start seeing the start of oxidation in fuel. So I mean, that's crazy. And you don't know how long it was in the fuel station before you got it as well. So this is a really important this time of year when people aren't driving. And I also saw some studies on how COVID's impacted driving patterns and stuff. So some people are finding out they're filling up like once a month because they just don't travel as much anymore, and they're not thinking about the fact that that fuel could be going bad on the cell you got. So it's really important to have a stabilizer in there. So did we hit them all, right?
No, you forgot lubricity.
Oh, of course. And number 6 is lubricity. That's the easy one. Why do we need lubricity in our fuel?
So we don't blow it. No, that's the other one. Obviously, to protect the fuel pumps and injectors, and
because there's no lubricity in the fuel.
And not only that, it also helps a little bit on the upper cylinder lubrication as well.
It does.
So
that's why LX4 works great even on the gas side as well. But as we know on the diesel side, the ultra low sulfur diesel that we have is the government mandating to pull all the sulfur out of the fuel. Sulfur acts as a great lubricant, so without that in there, your fuel system is only being lubricated with the fuel itself. And by adding lubrication back into it, we're protecting the fuel system. We talked about this a lot with the CP4 pumps. That's very susceptible to having, as soon as it gets any dry fuel at all, they can grenade and cost a lot of damage. So we're now to the point where I'm about to bring my secret side guest in. And the reason why I wanted to go in this order was because I wanted to introduce Diesel Extreme as step 1, EDT as step 2.
There you go.
Then we get into Diesel Winter Anti-Gel, 'tis the season. And this is really just the winter version of EDT. So the 6 things we just talked about, the cetane booster, the water dispersant, the rust and corrosion inhibitor, the fuel stabilizer, lubricity additive, and did I say 6? They're all in here. This is EDT. This has got all the same components, except one more. This is a 7-in-1 product. So a lot of times people think our anti-gel is just the anti-gel. Do I need to keep using my EDT? No. Everything's still in here. Everything is in here. So the only difference is we add the anti-gel to it for the winter months. And I want to bring our Diesel Winter Anti-Gel expert on the set, if he could be so kind to join us.
All right.
Are you bouncing?
Yeah.
All right. I
Which one?
Oh, yeah. Give him a mic. Ladies and gentlemen, when's the last time you saw Mr. Kevin Adams?
I was actually, hi guys. I was actually thinking that it seems like it's been a year maybe.
Man's back together,
Yeah,
man.
how you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's good.
Mr. Kevin Adams, Vice President of Research and Development. I call Chief Nerd in the building. Oil expertise, unrivaled. He comes with data, I see. I'm excited to see what you're bringing to the table.
A little bit of data, yep.
So one of the things we want to talk about Diesel Winter Anti-Gel today is because, as we know, we're having this cold snap right through the country.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are experiencing the cold for the first time. So it's even hitting climates that aren't used to it.
Yeah.
And as we've talked before, the differences in fuel around the country, maybe some of the northern states get some better treated fuel from the refinery and the jobbers, put a little more anti-gel into it. The southern guys sometimes are caught off guard. Like we talked earlier, there's down in Texas it's snowing right now and so forth. But let's start with how the anti-gel works and what's happening in the fuel. Now I know fuel is full of wax.
Yeah.
So when that temperature starts to drop, what happens to the wax in the fuel?
Yeah. You know, basically, the fuel becomes so insoluble that the wax kind of rains out of solution. I guess the way to think about it is you can take salt and dissolve it into water and make it saturated, and all the salt goes in. But
Like nice hot water salt. You
yeah,
mix it in and it blends in.
and as soon as it cools down, you'll start to see crystals of that salt coming out because it's saturated. You just can't hold it anymore.
Right.
So the same thing works, or it works the same way with diesel fuel. Basically, you know, the diesel fuel is what's keeping the wax dissolved.
So
and
when it's above freezing, there's no problem. The diesel fuel and the wax blend together, and like you also said, the return lines from the engine actually send warm fuel back. So we're not really having a problem there. But when the temperature gets below zero, like your salt analogy there, that wax starts to crystallize.
Yeah,
right?
it starts running out of solution. And there's two ways to deal with it. One, to increase the solubility, and the way you do that is add kerosene to your diesel fuel. You know, so some trucking companies actually, farmers, they'll do maybe a 50-50 mix of kerosene to diesel fuel. And what that does makes the diesel fuel more soluble for the wax and keeps it in solution.
Is that good for the system?
It's not. It's actually not good for a couple of different reasons. One, kind of a rule of thumb is that if you put 10% kerosene in your fuel, that'll lower the cold filter plugging point 2 to 3 degrees.
Okay.
So if you're running a 50-50 mix, the best you can do is lower your cold filter plugging point about 15 degrees. And you can do much better with a fuel additive.
Right, and that way, what you're trying to prevent on the top end from gelling, you're not really moving the needle that much.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, it's a lot more expensive. You know, kerosene's quite a bit more than diesel fuel. You know, our diesel winter anti-gel, even if you buy it in a small quantity, it's less than a couple cents to treat versus kerosene could be 5 to 10 cents a gallon to treat it. So
right, and so that's why an additive is a much better solution to it.
Yeah, it's more effective and less money.
Exactly. So
yeah.
Now, when we add the anti-gel, we already talked about the other components in here, so just specifically talking about the anti-gel, this needs to go in before that fuel's gotten cold. That's why we even started talking about anti-gel in September, October, getting people ready.
Yeah.
So it needs to blend with the fuel before temperatures drop. So we look at it as a seasonal product. You put it in there before you even think it's about to get cold because you don't want to get a surprise.
Right, exactly.
And what chemically happens when that anti-gel mixes with diesel fuel?
Yeah, to help you understand, you know, I had said that there's two ways to deal with wax. You know, one is to make the fuel more soluble, the other is to modify the way the wax forms. So our diesel winter rescue is, you know, solvent and lubricity additives that increase the solubility of the diesel fuel once the wax is formed. So that's what you're doing. You're really adding, they call them aromatics, to make the fuel more soluble, make the wax go into solution. The other way to deal with it is to use a chemical that modifies the way those crystals are formed. And so this kind of leads me into what I wanted to explain to everybody. There is a chemical with abbreviation EVA. That's what a lot of companies use as a wax modifier, or basically it's called a wax modifier or a cloud point modifier. So unfortunately, that chemical it freezes at a pretty high temperature.
Right.
So what we do, we've tried to optimize our formula to the point that it has the most amount of active ingredients, and when we do that, it has a higher freezing point than some other products out there. Right. So our product will freeze at plus 10 degrees. Right. And so we get questions like, hey, how is this protecting my system if it freezes at 10 degrees?
Yeah, it's a little confusing. So I got something that's supposed to keep my fuel from freezing, but it's freezing on its own.
Yeah, and that logic applies to you know, a solvent or kerosene, because that's how people have been accustomed to dealing with the wax. But what a diesel winter anti-gel does, it actually combines with the wax crystals and keeps them from getting bigger.
Right.
So to help understand the progression of what wax does whenever it gets cold, the first step is it starts to get cloudy. Your diesel fuel will get cloudy. That's the first evidence.
The cloud point.
Yeah, the cloud point. And then there's generally this rule called the 18-degree rule. That means whenever your fuel becomes cloudy, if you go 18 degrees colder than that, that's where it's going to start plugging up your fuel filters.
Okay, so let me unnerd it a little bit.
Yeah.
your fuel's nice and at 32 degrees, everything's good, we're happy, you know, and then as temperature starts to come down, the wax in the fuel starts to crystallize, and it's actually pretty sticky, right? It's like sticky little bits.
It is, yeah.
And those sticky bits want to clump together, almost like a snowball effect. And they start building up and building up. They fall to the bottom of the tank.
Yeah.
This is without a anti-gel. What happens? And then at some point, you go to have a cold start, you turn that over, and that clump of those bits will hit the filter and actually coat it so that no fuel can get through, and you're straightened.
Yeah, and just like a snowball, when the bits, like you described, get bigger, it rains to the bottom of the tank, right where your fuel pickup is. So you have this couple inch of really concentrated wax at the bottom of your tank.
Right. Now, rather than going the kerosene method, which we talked about, we attack it with a different version, a chemical angle.
Yeah.
And that is preventing the little bits from really sticking together and forming a big snowball.
Yeah,
We're keeping them small, dispersed, so that they can actually still make it through the filter.
Yeah.
And once they make it through the filter, we're good. We're going to burn. We're going to have a return back to the tank with hot fuel. The hot fuel is going to help keep everything fluid and moving. It's a different way to attack the problem.
Yep.
Now, where it presents a confusion point for some of our customers is because we're going at it from a higher end approach, a more functional way of doing it using a high-end chemical to do it. That chemical, strangely, will freeze itself, and that's where we get some questions about, you know, having the product freeze on its own. How could it be that good?
Yeah.
And what I like to tell people is, it's just science. It's what happens with tribology and chemistry, that you have two different. You have diesel fuel and you have the anti-gel that on their own will freeze, but you mix them together, and I think we can get down to a negative 65. I believe it is.
On the pour point.
On the pour point. So, and what a pour point is the point at which this will no longer pour out of the bottle. So you go like this and it's not coming out. That's the pour point. Well, both these products, both fuel and anti-gel could start to freeze at above 10 degrees or so.
Yeah, exactly.
But when combined, they go all the way down to negative 65 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's the hard thing for people to get their mind around, but it's really, when you understand the science behind it, it helps to explain it.
Yeah, and again, to help you understand, the reason why we do it that way, our formulating strategy is to make the products as concentrated as they can. The Diesel Extreme, the EDT, and the DWAG, they're all at the EPA limits of active ingredients of what we're allowed to put in there.
We can't put a drop of anything else in. We maxed it out.
Yeah, and what that does to the end customer, if you look at the cost per treated gallon, it's the best value to the customer. Right. So that's our strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those that forget their anti-gel or get stuck on a surprise storm or in a state that wasn't ready for it, now all of a sudden you go out to crank the truck up, it's not cranking. A couple things may have happened. If you're fortunate, maybe you just have some gelling on the filter that is preventing the flow, or if it's gone long enough, you could have your whole tank is now gelled and frozen. You can pour all this in as you want, and it's not going to get you back on. Now we have to go to the other method, basically, we talked about, and that's where our rescue product's for. We hope you never have to use that product.
Yep.
I always tell people, if you're in a cold climate, buy a bottle of it. I think it's only like $15 a quart, $14 a quart. Throw it in the truck if you hope you never need it, but if you do, now we're frozen. It's different chemistry now. So we're using a different approach to ungel what's gelled.
Yep.
And how does that get in there and work?
Yeah, just like the kerosene, it actually was more effective than the kerosene because it has aromatics, and whenever you have basically solvents in there, you have to have lubricity to balance those two out. So this product is a balance of aromatics and lubricity additives to protect the injectors, and it will make the diesel fuel more soluble to bring that wax back into solution. So that's how that chemical works.
And how we treat with this product is we generally use a half a bottle you can pour in your tank. Yeah. And that should be enough to get all of any type of cloud point or gelling in the tank back to solution. And if you still can't fire, you can remove your fuel filters, pour another half bottle in the fuel filters themselves. That should get you flowing. If we can get the fuel moving and through the filter, you keep it running, and the hot fuel return will thaw yourself out. That'll save you a lot of money from a tow into a shop to get thawed out and warm up, and all he did was tell you and warm you up.
Yeah.
You have to pay good money for it, or for $15 you can have an emergency bottle in your vehicle. But let's not get there. Let's put some anti-gel in before we get there,
Yeah.
and not have that problem. But knowing what you know now, because of the way the chemistry's set up on this, you got to remember that this is not a product that you can leave in the bed of your truck in cold climates, because it will gel up itself. So you want to leave it inside the vehicle in a warm spot, insulated. I know some guys leave it on the dashboard. They pull it up and put it on their heaters, or pull it inside with you when you park and you're heading out. I also had one of our customers tell me his solution is he's got a little fuel can in the bed of his truck, and he just pours all his diesel extreme in there. I'm sorry, his winter anti-gel in there with some diesel fuel, because as we know, once they're mixed, it kind of protects it.
Yeah.
And then he just doses out of that can into the tank when he fills up each time too.
That's
So,
a good
thanks. I learned something.
No problem.
Is there anything we missed that you want to touch on?
No, that's basically the highlights. We did just recently do a test where we compared kind of some more background to this. Every year we test the current fuels that are out there and see how we index, how our fuel additive is working and how it's comparing to others. Not only does fuel quality differ by area and area at a certain time. Sometimes, like a couple years ago, when crude was lower, there was a real problem. Was in some areas with diesel fuel gelling, and it was because of the high wax content.
Right.
So yeah, this is just a test that we did, and it's just to show you, compared to the base fuel, what a big difference it makes to have an additive. We did compare some competitors here.
Yeah, we got them on the screen here. So what that is showing us is the base fuel at the top line, correct?
Correct.
And that cloud point we talked about was the initial point where we start to see the crystallines form and start the wax starting to gum up. Well, on the base fuel, it's happening at 12.4 degrees, and this is Celsius, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So 12.4 Celsius. With our diesel winter anti-gel, it shows you we are able to move that down to negative 12.2 or negative 11.8 with actually a lighter dosage. Almost got there. Same thing with the pour point. Actually, we should probably have the cold filter plugging point is next, right? That's the point at which you hit the next part. So you start with your cloud point when it starts to get cloudy and gel up. Then you get to your cold filter plugging point.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to be too much for your filter to pass through and cover all that up. As you can see, we move that from negative 13.9 down to negative 31.1. And then the final is the pour point there. The base fuel on its own, untreated, went down to negative 25.6. Adding our diesel winter anti-gel, it brought it down to negative 48.9. And again, that's the pour point. That's the ultimate when your bottle's turned into concrete. You can't even get it out of the bottle.
Yeah.
So there's a whole list of a lot of our competitors there, and shows you where they rank as well. I think that's why you've seen Project Farm had a great video last year.
Yeah.
He's an independent guy who does a lot of cool testing, and he put all the diesel winter anti-gels up to the test. And what I really think was what shined for us in that video was not just our anti-gel properties, but across the board, like I mentioned at the beginning of this still is a 7-in-1 product. It still has our lubricity and our cetane and everything else still in it. So not only do we perform really well in the anti-gel test, he does wear reduction testing and everything else too.
Yeah,
lubricity testing. So, and across the board, we've performed extremely well against the competition in his video. So it's a good other resource to show a third party testing our product and showing in a real world setting how it matches up against the competition.
Yeah, that was a good test.
So cool data. I like to see that. I like data.
No problem.
We like putting our data out there.
Yeah.
You know why?
What's that?
Because we're powered by science.
I knew you'd get that in there somehow.
Yeah, I had to. Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, it's nice being here.
People miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should come back and join us more often.
Yeah, I might do that.
All right. All right. Well, you're dismissed. I think Aaron can bring it home.
All right.
Unless you want to hang around.
Oh, Aaron's waiting in the wings there. I'll pass it off to him.
I was so ready for Aaron not to show back up. I was having fun. Thank you, Kevin. It's been a while since I had Kevin on.
No, what's cool is the new office. I can hear what's going on out here.
Yeah, we do have
So
new
I was
R&D, whole new R&D.
following up
offices,
with
everything.
a fancy, very important email that had to be sent out, and I didn't get to hit the send button because I heard, all right.
So we're going to close with the final fuel additive here, which the reason why I wanted to keep our LX4 separate. Let me put him down there by his winter friend.
Hey, little buddy.
The reason why I want to put the LX4 separate is because this is not an all-in-one product. This is literally a one-trick pony. It is just a lubricity additive. A very, very, very good lubricity additive. It's some new technology that we've developed in the last couple of years. We've always had lubricity in our products, but when we found this new way of doing things, it's blowing everything off the charts. So we've replaced, now the EDT has the LX4 in it and so forth. But for those looking for just lubricity, this is your product here. And because it's just lubricity, it's good in all applications. Gas, diesel, you name it.
E85, methanol.
E85, methanol. A lot of our race car guys are using it because, these high performance systems, they got really expensive fuel systems. And it's a great way to add some lubricity to any type of fuel you're using and protect your race car. They're really susceptible to fuel system failures with dry fuel, and these guys do a lot with their fuel, so it's a way to get a little extra protection into the tank. And I believe this is so potent. I think it's 1 ounce to 10 gallons, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of these race cars have 5-gallon fuel cells. Literally a ½ ounce of this stuff is great insurance. This bottle could last you all season pretty much. And it really
Not if you go rounds.
That's true. No, you don't know anything about that. So.
Sure don't. But for the average
that,
racer, it won't last as long as it does for me.
Right, and for the average daily driver, the advantage here is that what we found is when we put this product out to get tested, we kept seeing a ton of data coming back showing MPG gains. And at first we really didn't know why. We're like, well, it kind of makes, we're making it a little more efficient on the system with the lubricity, so that makes sense. We're freeing up the grind of the system, if you will. But really what we're finding is it makes a great upper cylinder lubricant.
Correct.
And that's a product in its own that some of the competition sell us. Here's our upper cylinder lubricant. This does that, and without even its intended initial purpose, too. So gas, diesel, alcohol, E85, you name it, it's a great way to protect your fuel system. And we certainly know about the CP4 pumps. That's really what we tackled this product for, is the problem on the diesel side with the CP4 pumps that are susceptible to really catastrophic failure without lubricity in the fuel. So it's a safe alternative. But if you're on the diesel side, again, you can run our normal diesel additives. They got the lubricity in them as well, or that's a standalone option for you. So what did I miss in our diesel coverage here?
I missed. I'm not sure if she missed it.
Well, I had Kevin, so you don't have to worry about that. I was well covered.
I'm sure Kevin had it under control.
Yep, sure did. So let's see, Dan.
So what was the one thing
Kyle
that
must work out? No, Dan, this is just natural, baby. Come on.
Genetics.
Dylan Kick had to dig my anti-gel out again yesterday. Dylan's got a sweet ride too. Yeah, Dylan, you don't want to get caught up with that. We like to keep it in this time of year just in case the cold weather shows up. Oh, look, Cindy Fisher's got a top fan badge. Back in the band, saying, I love you, fantastic job on the radio station. Well, thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. There's some family support in here.
Right.
I like
the only person that said that yet to you, Kyle.
Angel said, that's some great information for people like me being a first-time diesel owner. Thank you guys for great products and great content for this live show. Well, Angel, that's really what we try to do. We try to educate people. I was just talking to... I just did a episode of Diesel Podcast. And right before it, I was watching another episode of Diesel Podcast with our friend from Power Stroke Ingenuities, Dorian Reyna. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about he can't believe how many people are first-time diesel owners. I don't know if the dealerships don't know anything about diesels or they just don't care to pass along the information to an owner to find out it's the first time they've owned a diesel. But there are some simple things that you can't expect people just to know. And even down to people asking what where did they put the fuel in the DEF thing, or they don't even know what DEF fluid is, So they're getting zero education on when if you're a first-time buyer. So that's what we try to do. We have some very high-tech diesel people in our world as well, but we also welcome in first-timers, and we really want to educate them and to protect your system, because diesels can be finicky if they're not well taken care of. But if you take care of them, they're rock solid for much longer than any gas vehicle will be. So, Angel, we're happy to do that. We're happy. And if you have any more questions, like we say, post them up, give us a call. We'd love to educate and help people protect their vehicles. Greg Quirk says, great show today. Heath Meyer, what's up? He says, hello, Kyle. Keeping the lights here. Checking in late. I am adding 16 ounces of anti-gel, just like EDT and LX4. Man, he literally keeps the lights on here. That's overkill, buddy. But he must order by the pallet or something. Like, I got to fill up this week. It's in the case.
It's going to be ordering in the Ziegler tote quantities pretty soon also.
Terry Howard's reporting that the LX4 really helps with gas direct injection ticks. You found that?
What was the last part?
Ticking.
Yeah, I heard that.
LX4 helps with gas injection ticking.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just
fixes that's what we used for the Hemitech.
Exactly. Heath Meyer says 16 ounces of EDT, 16 ounces of LX4, 16 ounces of anti-gel for his Duramaxes. Wow, that's going with it. Brent Hilliard has an excellent question. Does DWAG contain LX4?
It does not.
It does not, and neither does Diesel Extreme at this point.
At this point, correct.
Right. So those are those are coming with the blend. Maybe.
We'll see.
But right now, LX4 is only blended into the EDT. There is plenty of lubricity. We should have brought the wear scar on the DWAG. But there's plenty of lubricity on the DWAG to get you underneath the 460 micron wear scar that the European government and the American Engine Manufacturers Association recommends, that we like to see to protect your fuel system in the DWAG already. If you would like to top treat it, you can top treat LX4 on top of any of our products. Yes. So if you want some added protection, or you want to get the wear scar down lower to give longer life to your fuel components, you can do that. So LX4 can be used as a top treat. You'd advise the same?
Sure.
I'm glad I got your stamp.
Yeah. I just use half dose, though, because it's pretty powerful.
He says he hopes he has that in the future to get LX4 in there. So Angel says, I've learned from common sense, friends with diesels, and this show. Going to Tractor Supply today to get that winter anti-gel and dropping some in today. Good to hear, Angel. Well done. Monday is supposed to be negative 17. Let's see, about to wrap up. Got one more question for you. A little off topic, but kind of there. Kale Pitama asks, what exactly is number 1 diesel fuel? As opposed to number 2.
What if I say I don't know?
Then you have homework.
Okay, good.
Is that your answer, Aaron?
I'll do homework. I'll give a good answer. I will give a detailed answer next week.
Okay.
Or he can message in and give me his email address, and I'll...
No, the world wants to know. They're going to hold you accountable to this now. Next week, Aaron will have a detailed answer on the difference between number 1 and number 2 diesel fuel.
Detailed.
So
not just,
I don't know the answer, but here's what I have heard. I've heard 2 different things. So you're going to solve the answer.
Okay.
I've heard 1 is nothing. There's no difference. 1's just dyed red for tax purposes, and then you don't want to get caught using that fuel because it's cheaper. I've also heard number 1 has much more lubricity and all this other stuff, and that's why people try to sneak it in, because it's a better fuel. So tune in next week to find out the real answer.
And I think there probably has less lubricity because it's de-waxed.
There you go.
But detailed answer next week.
Next week we will break down number 1 versus number 2. So
that's a good one.
Tune back in, Kale. And that should be about it for today. Remember to like and share our Facebook page and our videos here. If you have any questions about fuel additives, feel free to call in. If you're watching this later, go ahead and post below. We'll get to your questions. But I know we're having this cold snap right across the country. Those of us that are used to some of this cold weather or somewhat prepared for it, but I know this is introducing a lot of people to the need for an anti-gel in their fuel this time of year because it just may sneak up on you. And look out ahead on that weather report too. If it's coming or it's not, the cold's not leaving anytime soon, leave anti-gel in the fuel. Just leave it in there until we're well into the spring and it's safe to change away. Or in the meantime, or I should say, and in the meantime, grab yourself a bottle of Winter Rescue. If you never use it and you waste $15 with it sitting in your car for the next 3 years, you're a happy person. Trust me, because if you have to use it, it sucks. What most people find is what I found is the customers I've talked to that are really into our anti-gel keep up on our anti-gel, but they're also the ones that buy the Winter Rescue, so they've already got their insurance covered. They end up bailing other people out too. So if you have it in your vehicle, you might see a friend or a neighbor or just a guy stranded on the side of the road. I know some of our over-the-road truckers keep it on, and they're getting people bailed out of rest stops that are waking up in the morning gelled up. So you could be a hero to someone if you have a bottle in there too. But I'd keep one in the toolbox just like you keep a jack and a spare tire. You should have some of that in there. So in the meantime, it's cold. Let's keep some anti-gel in our fuel, people, so we don't have that problem. Anything from you to close?
No, but I would like to hear the one thing that Kevin said that you said you did not know.
I don't remember. I said I learned something.
Yes.
Yeah, I did, but I don't remember what I learned. I forgot it.
All right.
I did know most of the stuff, but I think it was a lot around. I shouldn't have said it. I did know, but because I learned it like yesterday from him. But I didn't learn it right here today. It was the difference in the cloud point, the cold filter plugging point, and then the pour point, and how those are lined up to each other. And the fact that it's not that we say our diesel winter anti-gel will protect you to this degree. It'll move where the fuel is by 25 degrees. So it's a whole different subject, but we talked about how all the different fuels out there, and they're getting treated differently. And as we saw in one of the charts, the difference levels, the baselines can be completely different. So if it's already treated down to like, it protects down to like 0, well, we're going to get you down to negative 25. If it's really good stuff that protects down to negative 20, we're going to get you to negative 45. We can actually move the bar that much. So that was the important thing that I learned. But it was just shown today.
Gotcha.
So is that your close?
That sounds like an excellent close.
All right, folks.
Catch us for minus 25 next week at 1:30.
He's going to have a report on number 1 versus number 2 fuel. And we'll be here again.
Maybe
Thursday.
I'll even do a video about it.
Maybe. We like those. We missed those.
It's been a while.
Come back Thursday, next week, 1:30 p.m. We're here to answer your questions. And remember, tonight at midnight, live on right where you're watching right now, Chris Gabrelchek is going to be with Steve Summers for hopefully 5 hours of fun. So call in and ask him some questions and check out the program. We were really proud about this new radio program we got going. So until then, we'll see you next Thursday.
Yep.
Have a good weekend.
Good night.